Hey everyone, this is Taylor with Speech Eats, and today it's a busy weekday and I usually do the crock pot specifically on Mondays. So we're doing a wonderful chicken tortilla soup. What I love about the crock pot is the kids can really get involved because you just don't have to plug it in and have them put the ingredients in, and then they get to see what goes into the meal. And this is really easy. You can do this, especially now that kids are not in school right now because of the quarantine. They can be really involved with helping making dinner. And it's just a great way to do an educational, nutrition type class with them right in the morning. And then it's ready in the evening when you're off work because everyone's working from home right now. So I'm starting out with doing about half of the crock pot filled with, so what I did was I did 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon and then filled it halfway with water. What I'll also do is you can do one container, large container of chicken stock, and then the rest of it with water. I just like to add like a chicken stock flavor so it gets more flavor, you get a more flavorful soup. So that's in, and I'm gonna do 4 chicken breasts, boneless chicken breasts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The rest, the other chicken breast, is going in my dog's dish. I'm also gonna add in about a tablespoon of chopped garlic. I love my garlic. Okay, there it goes, splatter. 1 cup of corn. Now, what you can do with your kids is work on, your school age kids, work on measurement. We're doing 1 cup of corn. Kids take these things in and then have them pour it in. The younger ones, you can work on color. Corn is yellow. What's great about this is that you can put a variety of different vegetables in. Now, I, grew up in California, and I grew up with this amazing tortilla soup. It was called Maria's Taco Shop, and so they actually did the full chunks of carrot. Now, carrot's a big choking hazard, even though it is going to be cooked through. If you have younger kids, I would chop it, but I'm just keeping it the way I grew up eating it. So I'm doing 4 pieces of carrot and then chopped into thirds. And then I have 1 onion diced, so I'm chopping that in. And then I happen to have zucchini. Zucchini is a fun, healthy vegetable for kids. What you could also do is grate it into the soup. It'll kind of dissolve, but then they're still getting a vegetable. And it's a pretty mild flavor, so it's not gonna be like a Brussels sprout that's has a huge bite on their tongue. Zucchini and actually sweet potato, you can kind of just blend right into the soup. So I'm adding that in there. And then the other thing is sweet potato. Now, sweet potato is also a sweet, flavorful vegetable, and so you can even blend that in. It's the same color as the soup. Now, I cut it into chunks. Sweet potato is great. It's a great root vegetable. It's an easier vegetable for kids to digest. And if your kiddos are picky, you can always just, like I said, use a cheese grater, grate it into the soup, and it'll just kind of dissolve in. But I'm doing it as chunks. And I've said before that if you're introducing a new food, maybe just doing 1 vegetable. But for kiddos that are just typical, don't really, typical kids, I want to avoid vegetables, then you can really push eating the rainbow with this one. Doing a green zucchini, doing an orange sweet potato. And what I like to do is talk about the foods from a speech therapy or language standpoint. I almost just tripped on my dog's dish, but you could also talk about colors and boost language that way. Green like trees, orange like a flower. So going in and connecting those vegetables are really going to help, or to colors are really going to help kids have a better understanding what they're eating, and then also work on building language development. You could do 1 packet of taco seasoning. I just have the big container, so I'm doing about 2 tablespoons shaken in, but if you don't have the big container, you don't need to, you could use just a little small packet of it. And then I either do 1 jar of salsa or I do 1 can of enchilada sauce. I have salsa, and it's just a green salsa. You can do red, and then I'm just gonna pour that right in. And then, you don't have to have this, but I like to add just ranch seasoning. Kind of gives it an extra little flavor. And then I'm gonna cook this on low for about 6 hours, or you can even put this at the end of the day. Oh, and then one thing, I keep this in my freezer. It's frozen cilantro. I only do like 1 cube because Jay thinks it tastes like soap. But if you're a kiddo that loves cilantro, this is a great thing to keep in your freezer. So this is about done. It's gonna go on low. And actually, one other thing I will also add is 1 can of black beans. I forgot to add that. add 1 can of black beans or 1 can of pinto beans. It's a great protein, and it's just it's a little bit of a different thing than the vegetables. It gives, you can pick which, and you can pick the, the black beans, the pinto beans, whichever one your family prefers. And then about 30 minutes before you're about ready to eat, what I like to do is add a ripped up tortilla, corn tortilla, and I do about 2 corn tortillas ripped up and tossed in. Now, that's another fun activity your kids could do, so they can help make the soup, put all the ingredients in, talk about the colors, and then when you're about to eat, 30 minutes before you're about to eat, have your kids rip up the tortillas. So rip up into bite sizes, and then you add them into the soup, and it adds this creamy, delicious consistency to the soup. But then I would have your kids do the ripping. It's a good fine motor task. When I work with my kids at work, the kids like to rip up the tissue paper, and it's just a fun, creative activity that the kids can do. What you could also do is use, cookie cutters and have the kids make shapes with the tortillas. That's another language builder. You can talk about, if you have a dog or a cat cookie cutter, you can say, oh, the cat says meow. So you're working on that language piece, but then you're also doing a fun interactive craft that, keeps the kids busy because they're all at home right now. And then when serving this, what I like to serve it with is sour cream and cheese, for those kiddos especially who like flavor, or kiddos that, really like that cheese and dairy, and also for those kiddos that need those calories. So I like to top it with just shredded cheese and sour cream. I like guacamole. And then for those kiddos that, a lot of times kiddos who are picky, kiddos who are autistic, they like that crunch. So I like to add crushed up tortilla chips on top, so they get that crunch. I also have just the salad topper tortilla chips that I just toss right on there, and they're different colors, so you could talk about the red and the blue. But that's also another option. And then, you could, for the food play piece, you can take out the carrot and have the kids mash the carrot, because it's already been cooked. So if you have a kiddo that's, working on, the actual soup's gonna be too difficult to chew because of a mixed liquid's a little bit harder for kids to manage because you're managing a thin and then the solid. But you can actually take out the carrot, take out the chicken, and mash it up. So those kiddos that are not quite ready at soup, those younger kids, but they can have like a mashed chicken, mashed carrot, then they're having the foods that you're having. It's a little bit more flavorful, more nutritious than like a baby food. And they're getting a little bit of what you're eating as long as they've had exposed to the carrot and the chicken and the spices that are in this. So besides that, season it with salt and pepper, and you are good to go. You have a wonderful dinner for your kids that they got to help make. And it's a great dish activity you can do with them in the morning, and then you can focus on work and then have it ready for you afterwards. Well, this has been Speech Eats, and I will catch you guys later.